Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad that you could join us today for this Wednesday, July 25th, 2001 broadcast. Tyranny is enveloping the globe, and the United States is a shining jewel the globalists want to bring down, and they will use terrorism as the pretext to get it done. So that's coming up in the second half of the show. Very important information. I'm going to put the call out that you call the White House and tell them, look, we've seen the news stories that you've wanted to blow things up, that you have blown things up, and that you're saying that 4 million of us are going to die and we need martial law and the Associated Press. At one of your little drills you had. And that we're aware of who the terrorists are if you pull this. This can stop this Hitlerian Reichstag event. I want to put the toll-free number up for Congress. And I won't want you to believe Alex Jones. I want you to go get these news stories off my website. I want you to call these major newspapers. I want you to find out these statements were true by the White House about preparing for martial law. And I want you to let them know that if there is any terrorism, we know who to blame. The point is, if any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen war, and whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, and sits on the board of Iridium Satellite. He's the boogeyman they need in this Orwellian phony system. I want the White House numbers up there now. A big part of this solution, after you research all the government terrorism and check out what I'm saying is true, call the White House and tell them, we know the government's planning terrorism. We know Oklahoma City and World Trade Center was terrorism. We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners, Baltimore Sun. If you do it, we're going to blame you because we know who's up to it. Or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame. And you could save the planet. I'm calling it Operation Expose the Government Terror.
Rick Perry's actions speak louder than words. Everything he's done so far tells the world, I'm running for president. And our inside sources confirm that's exactly what he's planning to do. That's right. Texas Governor Rick Perry has announced that he's running for the Republican nomination for president in 2012. And you're hearing it here first at Infowars.com. Now, as the world media tunes in to this video, they're saying, well, where else do we have this information? Well, you see, officially, Rick Perry hasn't announced that he's running for president, but in the real world, he has. And I want to talk about that right now. Almost 4 years ago, I released a film called Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, where we predicted that Rick Perry would be running for president coming up in 2012.
Now, Jim, my governor, Rick Perry, it's in the front of the Dallas Morning News. The headline reads, Texas Governor Rick Perry to attend Bilderberg. What does it mean to have the governor of Texas in the Dallas Morning News just admitting he's going to Bilderberg Group?
It means he's a potential president. Officially, Bilderberg considers Governor Rick Perry a potential president of the United States.
I'm sorry. This is the hardcore patriot leader that will defeat the New World Order. By the way, you're all McVeigh people, and I'm going to unleash FEMA on you, but I am your friend.
And they're debunked.
Oh my God, oh my God.
All right, we should play some more of this. Let's play some more.
Let's go back to him.
Running their mouths, we were working with an independent group to debunk them or to prove them. I also said that on the air over and over and over again.
Look at this.
But who listens to context? The one guy that can actually set the record straight here is James Meggs. He's the editor-in-chief of the
Here's another one
I was talking about, otherwise known as
Look at
Popular
that
Mechanics. They did an incredible job in the writing of the definitive debunking of...
That's who runs the New World Order, is little twit, powerless nerds who enjoy scamming everybody. It's, I mean, look at them.
Did you notice the graphic yet?
One day. Ugh.
Alex, did you notice the graphic yet? Go back to it. Look at the graphic. There it is.
Blood coming out of the eyes and smoke out of the ears.
Edge of insanity.
We're covering the edge of craziness. If you talk about FEMA camps in the Houston Chronicle, Wall Street Journal, and New York Times, and all the TV programs admitting they're getting ready for martial law for your own good and 20,000 troops in the streets of America, you're totally insane. Now let's cut to two twits.
Yeah.
We don't even understand freedom anymore. We are a country that is headed towards socialism, totalitarianism, beyond your wildest imagination. I have to tell you, I'm doing a story tonight that I wanted to debunk these FEMA camps. I'm tired of hearing. You know about them?
Sure.
I'm tired of hearing them. I wanted to debunk them. Well, we've now for several days done research on them. I can't debunk them. And we're going to carry the story tonight.
I don't know anything about them. So
it is our government. If you trust our government, it's fine. If you have any kind of fear that we might be headed towards a totalitarian state, look out, buckle up. There's something going on in our country that is ain't good.
For federalization and forced inoculation. But again, they're going to do this. They're going to have a biological event, whether they claim it was naturally occurring or some terrorist did it, and then only round up a few 100,000 in a few county areas somewhere, have a beta test, have the Army out, show it on the news, get everybody scared, they'll fix it, and then people will say, oh my gosh, you know, martial law's good, it saved us. You know, from all the little pieces of info I've got and knowing the enemy operation, I was able to peg 9/11, even the target, months before. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to be bio-attack.
Say something, TV ads sell the false idea that white terrorists are hiding under every rock and only Big Brother can keep minorities safe from the vicious, wicked white killers. All the terrorists are white, and it zooms in on big blue eyes, animated, glowing like glacial ice. And it's just the whites are everywhere. The whites are everywhere. They're going to get you. You know, the white Al-Qaeda. And it's very simple. It's a false flag. Now the next phase, they've already been beta testing behind closed doors with the police and military. Now they're moving it to white Al-Qaeda. I want to say this again, and I'm going to your calls. They are priming everybody for domestic soft terror attacks all over the country. I'm telling you, they're getting ready, and they're getting ready to unleash white Al-Qaeda. It'll be as phony as a $3 bill, but they don't care. Only exposing the terror attacks and taking that tool away from them is going to defeat them. So I'm telling you, you can see all the pre-scripting, just like we saw before 9/11. They're getting ready to pull the trigger, and it is going to be hellish.
Now, the big issue here is YouTube has a long history of banning anything that criticized the military, that showed them killing dogs, killing sheep, killing animals, torturing dogs, sitting off the side of the road, machine gunning whole families for fun and laughing about it. And YouTube would take these down. Even when it was on national news, Google and YouTube would take these down, and the White House admits, and the Senate admits, and Lieberman admits they just email them what they don't like. The Southern Poverty Law Center, ADL, are, quote, partners. They have employees paid for with federal grants inside YouTube now for a year, banning anything and everything. And they go through YouTube and Google on record. This is all mainstream news. You can search engine it and pulling it up. It's been covered ad nauseum. They're proud of it. The mainstream media says it's good. Banning anything and everything they want. So the Southern Poverty Law Center and the ADL are literally the commissariat. That's the political police in America. You don't know what commissariat is? Search engine that and give me the definition of commissariat.
Social networking, what role do you think sites like Facebook and Twitter have played in the revolutions in the Middle East? How easy would you say it is to manipulate media like that?
Facebook in particular is the most appalling spying machine that has ever been invented. Here we have the world's most comprehensive database about people, their relationships, their names, their addresses, their locations, their communications with each other, their relatives, all sitting within the United States, all accessible to US intelligence. Facebook Google, Yahoo, all these major US organizations have built-in interfaces for US intelligence. It's not a matter of serving a subpoena. They have an interface that they have developed for US intelligence to use. Now, is it the case that Facebook is actually run by US intelligence? No, it's not like that. It's simply that US intelligence is able to bring to bear legal and political pressure to them, and it's costly for them to hand out records and one by one, so they have automated the process. Everyone should understand that when they add their friends to Facebook, they are doing free work for United States intelligence agencies in building this database for them.
Sponsored and sanctioned by the U.S. government.
So they were flying guns out and coke in.
Yeah.
Heroin also?
I had no knowledge of that. It was cocaine.
Where are we going now today? Would you say that the majority of, how big a percentile of the narcotics coming into this nation are controlled by the National Security Agency or the CIA?
I have no way of knowing, but I use logic on these kinds of scenarios. If you are to believe the Pentagon, and I do, we have a security net over this country, down-looking satellites and radar that is designed to stop as small of an incoming target as an air-to-ground missile launched from a Soviet MiG out of Cuba. Now, if that's the case, and you can do that, and I believe we can do that, that's been proven time and time again we can, you have to ask yourself, how are all these drugs getting into this country?
So what are the drug busts that we see? Are those cowboys or people that were not inside, who are not licensed drug runners for the CIA being busted?
Oh, the independent, the entrepreneurs, the little guys, the guys with a Cessna that gets caught with a duffel bag full and goes to prison for life. The juxtaposition of that is a C-123 with 5 tons coming in unabated.
I'd always thought this was the first time this kind of a program had been tried. There are new revelations tonight coming out that the Bush administration had a similar weapons program, something called Operation Wide Receiver. Do you know about that? Do you think officials from that administration should be looked at as well?
Well, Anderson, we'd know a lot more about it, except that's among the documents we're still waiting to get. What we do know about Wide Receiver somewhat is very small amount of weapons, much more intensive following, but in fact, we will get to the bottom of whether or not this practice in a smaller way may have begun on the Bush watch. We're not putting it past any administration and giving anyone a pass. The American people and the people of Mexico expect us to have a zero tolerance for letting drugs come into our country or weapons go into Mexico.
But boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you: Predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
But when the president can kill whoever he wants, then he's not a president anymore, he's a king. To start assassinating American citizens without charges, and now people think they can
abuse and beat up everybody and nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop them. They're having their way with America. They want our guns. And if you're not with them, cops and military, then you will declare that you're with the Republic now. And don't tell me that I'm a weirdo because I'm upset about this, and I should only go get upset about my favorite football team winning or losing. Listen, I know what tyranny means. I know the bankers are putting poison in our food and water. I know the bankers have stolen $8.5 trillion. I know we're under War Powers Act. I know they're hurting us. I know they're carrying out New World Order. I know they've staged those terror attacks. You know what it's like to go up to this and go out every day and go past the peer pressure and come out day one and say 9/11 was an inside job and lose most of the radio stations I was on? You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day? You know what it's like knowing you've ruined my life? You know what it's like, you sons of bitches? I'm tired of your crap! You commit evil, you're part of an evil system, and we're standing up against you! And the Republic is going to defeat you in the end! Some of us won't make it personally through this, but a lot of us are. And in the end, you are going to be brought to justice for all the kids you kidnapped for CPS, all you CPS workers, all you corrupt bureaucrats, all of you that have had your way with innocent children over and over again, who think your evil's invincible. You're not invincible, and God is going to deal with you. And you are cursed to hell. I'm
I'm done. I got to get out of here. I'm pissed off now. Robert Wanek, you can make some closing comments. I'll give you the last 2 minutes. We're going to end transmission. Make sure the guy's got your address so I can send you those videos so you can resist tyranny. I salute you.